Can you give us some priorities of, as you go into this draft, like what you have as priorities for this team?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest priority we have is, we couldn't get a contract done with Alex Wennberg at the deadline last year, so we had to move him. So there's a spot open up the middle for us. We do have options. We could try Shane Wright in that spot to start the season. We could try Jared McCann in that spot. But I think if we can find via trade or via free agency on July 1 somebody to fill that void, that would be a priority for us. And then we just, I think we probably scored more than we should have 2 years ago, and we scored less than we should have last year. I think we're probably somewhere in the norm is somewhere in the middle, but we need to find a way to produce more offense than we did last year for sure.
Well, I know it's not an instant fix, but you bring up free agency. Is here in year 4, is there more of a chance that you will go after free agents and try to go that route?
Well, we did that after year 1. Burakovsky and Schultz and Jones were 3 guys we did that summer, and then actually made the deal for Bjorkstrand. So we certainly look at it every year, and we have the cap space to get into that market this year. So we're certainly willing when July 1st rolls around and guys are free to have those conversations and try and see if we can get somebody that wants to come to Seattle and play for us.
Scouting free agents, though, is almost as important as scouting draft picks, right? I mean, you still have to see if that person, that player is a good fit.
Yeah, no, so it's an ongoing process all season long, right? We have a pro division of scouting, we have an amateur division of scouting. And the pro guys are doing the NHL and the AHL, and our amateur guys are doing everybody that's eligible for this draft. So the one entity is trying to get us ready for the first pick tomorrow night at 8, and then the 8 picks we have on Saturday, and the other entity is getting ready for us in case there's any trades or free agent options come July 1st.
So this is a really, it's a busy, you got to really think on your feet. This draft, tell me a little bit about what it's like on draft night in those last couple of hours.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything's kind of crazy. There's all kinds of phone conversations this time. I think I've said numerous times, as a player, you're always scared to death you're going to get traded. And then you get into this chair, and for the amount of calls you have, you don't get as many trades to happen as the amount of calls you make. But you're constantly working, trying to do that, and hopefully there's something you can do to make your team better.
What's your experience when you scout a college-age player and maybe a teenager? Is it is one player necessarily, or one level necessarily, more NHL ready?
Well, I mean, the kids we're drafting are basically 17 turning 18 or just turned 18. Sometimes you get a guy draft +1 who's 19, still eligible for the draft. But every league is kind of different, so you factor that in. If a kid is 18 playing in college, a lot of times he's playing against guys that are 22, 23, 24. So you factor that in as to how you rate them and where you structure them in your list. If a guy's playing junior, for the most part, he's playing guys 18, 19, a few 20-year-olds, maybe some 16-year-olds. So that factors in. And then, you got the top leagues in Finland, the second leagues in Finland, the same thing in Sweden, same thing in Russia with the KHL, and then there's leagues in Germany and Norway and Denmark and France. I mean, it's a worldwide thing that we're trying to do and try and find the best players to put on the Kraken jersey.
Man. Having no idea what the scouting business is about, but talking a little bit with Robert, the fact that you guys have scouts all over the place, and to be able to find these players in these leagues, it's really something, isn't it? It's a year-round process, and you just keep going.
Yeah, it's probably, for instance, the kids in this year's draft, they've probably watched 2 or 3 years now. So, it starts earlier. You're kind of watching them as they progress, see how they change, whether things, get better or worse for the kid. Things that you think maybe they're missing, do they improve on that by the time they get to draft year? So all that is happening as you lead up to this point for them to make their decisions. We also have an entire R&D team too that does work, and they work with our scouting staff on trying to say, hey, maybe this is something you should look at, or maybe this is something that you're missing, kind of thing, and vice versa. The scouts might say, hey, I'm having a tough time differentiating between these guys. What do the numbers kind of say? So it's a big operation. It covers a lot of distance, and our people work hard at it to try and get it right.
Last question for you. I liked what your take was on team toughness and the fact that you don't just go out and get a bruiser. You got to get everybody at that level where it's by team. Can you explain a little bit about your approach to that?
Yeah, no, I think if you're a successful team, to me, everybody understands what their role is. They're willing to buy in, and everybody wants to be on the power play. Everybody wants to be the guy putting up 100 points. But sometimes you don't get that opportunity. But it's just important to block a shot or kill a penalty at the right time. And at the end of the day, everybody that's on the ice has to know that each other has their backs, and that's what I mean by sort of that team toughness, right? If anybody's trying to poke around or take advantage of any of our guys, then we should have to deal with all of our guys at the same time. And I think when you get that in your locker room and you get that on the ice, that's usually a pretty successful hockey team.